It's only by age 50, however, that about 50% of people out there start to notice that hair loss. And this is typically because they'll be in a bathroom or looking in a mirror, and the lighting will be bright enough that it permeates the sort of outer boundary of their hair, and they'll notice that their hair is thinning in a particular location. That's usually how this sort of thing happens. So again, our psychological states can impact our patterns of hair growth or loss, and of course, patterns of hair growth, but more typically hair loss and hair graying, can really impact psychological states. So this is a subject that people take intense interest in. And today we're going to talk about how hair normally grows, why it grows at the rate and for the duration that it happens to. And then as we talk about ways to intervene with that hair loss, those biological mechanisms will come up because they really provide a nice framework for explaining why certain treatments work more or less well, or why certain treatments might have certain side effects or total lack of side effects. It will also highlight a really key theme that will come up several times in today's podcast, which is that there are both mechanical and chemical approaches to slowing and reversing hair loss. Mechanical approaches would be things as simple as massaging the scalp, but mechanical changes to the scalp can cause either hair loss or facilitate hair growth. This is why things like microneedling are so prominent in the context of trying to reverse hair loss. But again, there are also chemical approaches to trying to halt or reverse hair loss. And this relates to the fact that the hair growth itself is strongly regulated by hormones such as estrogen, thyroid hormone, insulin-like growth factor, and that other hormones, in particular the androgens, so things like testosterone, but mainly its derivatives like dihydrotestosterone, are very much involved in setting the stage for hair growth by controlling how big or small that pool of stem cells that gives rise to hair growth is. So if any of the terms I just used are confusing to you, don't worry. I will make all of those very clear in a moment. It's actually all pretty straightforward and simple. And so I'd like to just start by talking about what hair is, how it grows, why it stops growing, and why hair normally falls out. Let's talk about the biology of hair. And in doing so, I also want to talk about stem cells. Now, keep in mind that when you hear the word stem cells, you probably, like most people, think about the sorts of cells that people are getting injected into their face to get rid of wrinkles or give them new skin, or to give them more hair if it's injected in the scalp, or into a joint to repair a joint or a muscle. Those stem cells are what we call exogenous stem cells. Exogenous, meaning from outside the body.